Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Facebook Live. I am here a few hours early today because my kids have early release from school, so I will be picking them up at the normal time I do my live. So hopefully some of you will still find me live or you can watch the replay later. While we give everybody a chance to find the video and get on, I wanted to share a couple of things that are going on with Stampin' Up! And my own classes, and then we'll get into today's cards. So this next paper pumpkin for November, they just released the sneak peeks, and look at this pretty box. So this month's kit is starting to ship now, and those were Christmas cards. This next kit for November kind of coordinates with that one, but this looks like it's going to be little gift boxes. And then there is an add-on. You can add on these cards, and these are actually larger cards. They're 5x7 cards. So if you are a current Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can find this add-on for cards in the online store and purchase them. And of course, they are while supplies last. So if you're not a current subscriber, I'll put the subscribe link up in the description when I'm done. And you can subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, and then you'd get this kit. They ship in about a month because this month's just, the deadline just ended. But you can purchase the card bases right now if you are a subscriber. Okay, and I can't believe that we didn't talk about this at all last week. I totally forgot to tell you the time would be different this week, and I also totally forgot to talk about this, but Stampin' Up! Is offering a super exciting starter kit special this month to celebrate our 35th anniversary. So you can either choose to get 35% off the cost of your starter kit, which brings the price down to $64.35, and you get to pick out $125 of product, or you can get 35% more product in the kit, which means you pay $99 and pick out $168.75 worth of product. So both are great deals. If you saw my post earlier this week about 5 things I wish more people knew about the starter kit, you know that this is kind of a no commitment thing. There's no strings attached. It is a great time to try out being a part of Stampin' Up! And I think that you will really like it. And when you buy the starter kit now, you'll be with us for at least, quite a few months actually, until the end of April. You can enjoy shopping at a discount and checking out all the perks that come along with being a demonstrator. So definitely consider that and reach out to me if you have questions. I'll put a link for the starter kit too when I'm done. And then I wanted to share my Christmas card club with you this month. I used the Merriest Trees bundle. This club is $39 a month, and you will get supplies to make 2 of each of these cards. So the kits always include product. You're going to get a half package of A Walk in the Forest Designer Series paper this month. You'll get the Real Red and Garden Green ribbon combo pack. And then these sequins, these glittery sequins. And I may have to substitute embellishments. I did order some before they went out of stock, but I may have to substitute because quite a few embellishments are out of stock right now, actually. But I do have some. So the deadline to sign up for the Christmas Card Club is the 15th, so that's coming up in just a few days. And I will put a link for that in the description also. It's going to be full of links. So if you are watching, make sure you comment and share and like, because those links will put it way down on Facebook's playlist. But I want you to have all the information. Okay, today we are going to focus on the Garden Walk suite. So I have 3 cards to share with you today. And first, let's take a look at what is included in this suite. This might be the only suite in our holiday catalog where all the products are actually available right now. I don't know. We've had a lot of very popular items this time. But this one is still in stock, so highly recommend it. Now, everyone says they have too many flower sets. But this one is kind of unique, I think, because you have different types of flowers. It's a 2-step stamping set. So I didn't do any 2-step stamping really on my cards today, besides flowers and leaves. But some of these will kind of layer on each other. You can layer this one on here. You can layer that one on there. These two layer together really well. And so that's kind of fun, or you can use them separately. And then you've got sentiments for just general occasions, birthdays, but you've also got the Christmas ones. So I think that's kind of fun. The paper is, oh wait, before I do that, I have my punch hiding under here. Part of that stamp set bundle is also this modern oval punch, which is really a nice basic shape punch, I think. And it's a good size too. I don't want to get too much reflection on there, but it's a good size, and you'll see it on 2 of my cards today. So that's kind of a fun one to have, staple item in your craft room. The paper is a 6x6, and it is really pretty. So you've got lots of florals, and this paper is what made me think that the color Wild Wheat is maybe not so bad. I don't know about you. It's one of our new in colors, and it is not my favorite, but it looks more yellowish or goldish in some of these patterns. And again, some of these are good for Christmas or more masculine cards, just those. This one is a really pretty Christmas pattern. And then the pretty peacock, that's one of my favorite colors. And then you've got fun floral patterns too. Just kind of a unique color combination, I think. This one I haven't quite figured out the colors yet because the red they list is Poppy Parade, but this looks more real red to me. And I'm not sure what the pink is either. They have the colors listed on the back, but this doesn't look like any of the colors to me. So this is one pattern that has a lot of the Wild Wheat in it, and I think this one's really pretty actually. Same with this, Wild Wheat stripe, and it looks more yellowish, goldish, I don't know. Another floral pattern with the small flowers. And this one you've got Calypso Coral. I think this is my favorite pattern. I just love the pretty peacock with the coral. So pretty. And you've got your stripe on the back. This one's pretty too, if you like the smaller floral pattern. Another stripe. And then this is probably my second favorite print. I like the coral, the different shades of the coral in there. So that is the paper. It comes in a pack of 48 sheets, so you get 6 of each pattern, which is kind of nice. Sometimes it's only 4, but I like that there's 6 in this one, so that is kind of fun. There's also a ribbon in this suite. It is Calypso Coral Braided Linen Trim. We have had braided linen trim like this before. I think we've had it in Mossy Meadow. We've had just like a regular linen color. So it's just like those, if you remember those, but it's Calypso Coral to coordinate with the suite. And then the embellishment is the Blooming Pearls. So I think these are actually listed as Wild Wheat, but they look actually really gold. So that's kind of fun. I believe these are Garden Green, the pretty peacock, and then maybe Petal Pink is the pink. I'm not positive. That's too light to be the coral, but a nice variety of colors for those blooming pearls. So I have 3 cards to share with you today. If you place an order with me this week through Tuesday the 17th, any order will get a PDF tutorial of the cards for free. I am going to tell you all the measurements and everything during the video, so of course you can copy them down that way. But if you'd like the PDF tutorial with everything written out, just place an order this week. If you spend more than $40, you will get a card kit to make our 3 cards, and here they are. So it obviously won't include the stamps, but all the pieces will be cut and punched for you. You provide your own stamps and your own ink and adhesives, and then you can use whatever ribbon or embellishments you want on your cards. That's just to help me make it really flat and a little bit cheaper to mail to you. But if you spend more than $50, I am going to include a package of the Blooming Pearls, as long as they stay in stock, because the embellishment that I did last week, it went out of stock. So in that case, I would substitute something else, but you can use whatever you have on hand. So you'll see when I do the cards, this is exactly how I will package it for you. Okay, so this first one is the fractured card technique. Have you tried this technique before? It looks really complicated, but it's really not. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't do it, to be honest. Let me know in the comments if you've done a fractured card before. So for this one, So this is how you would get your card kit packaged, flat in an envelope like this. And you'll have all the pieces you need to put your card together. So we have a thick white card base, 5.5 by 8.5. And then I've just scored it at 4 1/4 so that it makes it a little easier to fold. And then we have a piece of Pretty Peacock that is 5 1/4 by 4, and a piece of the Designer Series paper that is 5 by 3 3/4. So first I'm just going to layer those together with some Stampin' Seal. Did you get stocked up on your adhesives during free shipping? I ordered a bunch of refills for my Stampin' Seal. So I use it all the time. Okay, now you are going to want to finish putting this piece together before you adhere it to the card base. So I'm going to move my card base out of the way so that I don't forget and accidentally put it down there. Okay, so this is the next piece that we're going to want to add. So before we add it, we're going to do some stamping. I'm going to bring my foam mat in here so I get a nice crisp image. And the It's Your Birthday stamp is one of the sentiments in the Garden Walk, or in the Modern Garden stamp set. And I'm using Pretty Peacock ink. So this is a square, but we're going to position it like a diamond on the card. So that is the way I'm going to stamp it. Close that up. Okay, so you can use grid paper if you want to be exact. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, and you can put it anywhere you want on your card. You can put it at the bottom, you can put it right in the middle. I'm going to put it a little bit towards the top. So again, you can use grid paper to be more exact, but I'm just kind of eyeballing where the center is. Okay, then to make your fractured card, these strips you want to be the same color as your mat right here. And that is because then it kind of looks like it's all connected. Actually, the first time I saw one of these cards, I thought, how in the world do they do that? It's really simple. Just pick the same color. So these are Pretty Peacock also, and they measure 1/4 inch by 5. And for this, they're so narrow that you are going to want to use your liquid glue. The seal is too wide. And some of it's going to hang off the edge, and you're just going to start at one of the corners and line up the corner edges. So I'm actually going to put my glue right on here, because that way I won't have glue hanging off the edge. So I'll put a line of glue, and then we'll lay down that strip. Okay, then we're going to go to the next one, and again you're just going to line it up at the edge and go down to the edge of your paper. This is the long one. It's a little tricky to get it straight, so you probably could put glue on the strip of this one because it almost uses all of it. Not too much is hanging off. And we're just going to keep working our way around. And that's how you do a fractured card. So we had, my team leader does a team meeting once a month. Usually it's on the first Saturday of the month. So we had it on Saturday morning. And it's done on Zoom, so everybody can join in. She's actually in Minnesota, and I'm in Arizona, so that's kind of nice. A lot of my team members are in Arizona, too. And the rest of our team is, you know, Minnesota. I think somebody is from New York, so everybody can join in on Zoom. But we did a fractured card, and she actually cut a second strip. She did like a coordinating color, and she cut it 1/8 by 5, so it is half the size of this, and she did another layer all the way around. So that was kind of cool too, but I decided to kind of keep it simple for this one. Okay, so now we're just going to take our snips and cut those pieces that are hanging off like this. And now we can attach it to our card base. So move the trash out of the way. So you may have noticed I used a different pattern on this one than I used on my sample card. Depending on how many people order this week, you may get a different pattern of the paper, but it will still coordinate with the Pretty Peacock. So which one do you like better? I know we're not done with this one yet. Do you like these look like roses to me. Maybe they're roses, maybe they're not. Or do you like the smaller flowers? This is my favorite pattern of the paper, so I'm going with this one, but this one is pretty too. Okay, so now we just want to add a few embellishments. So I'm going to use some of the Pretty Peacock ones, just the small ones. And I'm going to put one in each corner except for the bottom because that's where we're going to put our ribbon. Just like that. And I forgot to say this square is cut with the Stylish Shapes dies. You could just do like a 2x2 square. If you want your square a little larger, you can do that too. Really any size square will work. So now I'm just going to tie a small bow with the Calypso Coral ribbon. And we'll add that to the bottom of our card with a glue dot. Trim my edges there. And then that'll be our first card. So pretty simple. And it's just kind of a fun technique, don't you think? Okay, so that is our first card. Next, we are going to make a Christmas card. So I love that this stamp set has Christmas and other occasions, which is awesome. So let me pull out my envelope for this one. So this one, we are going to have a crumb cake card base. And because we're wrapping twine around this way, I cut it to 4 1/4 by 11 and then fold it in half. And that's scoring at 5 1/2 if you are scoring to help fold your card base. Then I'm using Pretty Peacock for my accent color again. So this piece of Pretty Peacock measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then I've got another piece of crumb cake that is 3 3/4 by 5, and we're going to do some stamping on this one. Okay, so what I did is I just pulled out some of the stamps, and I pulled out the ones that look like poinsettias. And so we're going to use some Cherry Cobbler ink on here. And my recommendation when you are stamping like your own background piece for this is to start with the largest image, and then you can fill in with the smaller ones. So I have my Cherry Cobbler ink. In this case, it is the larger poinsettia flower. And you just want to put a few on here. I should have brought scrap paper. We'll use the back of this one. That way, if I go off the edge, I will not make a giant mess. And you can turn your image if you want, so that it's kind of facing different directions, whatever you want to do. Then I'm going to go to my next largest, which is the other poinsettia image. And like I said, you can layer these. I did not do that today, but you sure can. Oops, gotta get on my scrap paper. Maybe we'll try and cover that one up. I double stamped that a little bit. Oh, let's see, like that. I don't know. Okay. Then I have, let's see, before I put that away, I'm going to stamp my sentiment. So this little label is from the Autumn Leaves dies. And there is one Christmas sentiment in this stamp set. And it happens to fit perfectly in here. So I'm going to stamp that on there with our Cherry Cobbler ink while I have it out. And then I'm going to pull in my Garden Green ink next. And there's a tiny little leaf stamp in the stamp set. And so I just kind of stamped random leaves next to my poinsettias. And I think the leaf can go either way, so it doesn't really matter. However you want to put it. And I just added some in here. edge. Put them wherever it looks good to you. Okay, I think that's pretty good. All right, so we'll close that up, and then I'm going to bring in my Pretty Peacock ink again. Now there are a couple small circles in this stamp set. This is the smaller of the two, and these can be used as centers of your flowers. But in this case, I am just using it to kind of fill in my background and make a pattern. So we'll kind of fill in where the spaces are, just random again. Okay, that's pretty good, I think. Close this up. And I'm going to adhere this to my Pretty Peacock, and then we'll decide which way it's going to go on the card. So we'll layer that flat on there. Okay, let's see. Maybe I'm going to go across the middle on this one, because then I'll cover up that blurred image. So let's see. I did put it on the card first. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this to my card. And then our twine on this card is from our Baker's Twine Essentials pack. It comes with 5 colors of twine. And this one is Crumb Cake. So that matches my card base. Now let's see where I tossed my Crumb Cake twine. It's around here someplace. Where did I put that? Probably rolled away somewhere on my desk. I am positive I brought it in here. There it is. Okay, so the Crumb Cake and the white in this set come with more yards, and I forget if it's 15 yards and the other rolls are 5, but Crumb Cake and white have the most. So I almost forgot to put this on first. This is another piece of our Garden Walk Designer Series paper, and this one is cut 2 by 4 1/4. And we're just going to lay that across where our mistake was. So you can put this anywhere on the card that you want. On my example, I put it down lower. Since I kind of flubbed the stamping a little, I'm putting it up higher this time. And I wrapped my twine around 3 times. You could go around less if you want, but I liked the look of that. And then I just tied a bow on the left side. And mine's kind of big and loopy, but it can be smaller if you like smaller bows. Totally up to you. All right. And I'm going to trim those edges just a little bit. Okay. And it's a little loose, but we're going to put the sentiment on top, and that'll help it stay in place. Okay, so this I punched out with that Modern Oval punch that's part of the bundle. And this is Pretty Peacock, and it's sparkly paper. And I wanted to show you, this is in our annual catalog, and maybe you've missed it. But it is, let me double check what it's called. I think it's just Sparkle Shimmer, Soft Shimmer Specialty Paper. I love the colors that it comes in. You get a 12 by 12 sheet of each one. Pretty Peacock, Berry Burst, Bubble Bath, Night of Navy, and Lost Lagoon. And those are some of my favorite Stampin' Up! Colors. So I absolutely love this paper. Plus it is shimmery and shiny, so that makes it even better. So I just punched out one of the Modern Oval punches here, and we're going to lay that over our twine with some dimensionals. Maybe I'll put one more. Help hold that twine down. See if I can get it. There we go. So I put this on the more towards the right side. You could put that in the middle too, I suppose, however you like it. And then I layered this on with dimensionals also. And I just put 2 kind of in the center because the edges will hang off. Like that. And then, I don't know, these look gold to me, not wild wheat. So I decided gold was nice for Christmas. And I just filled in a few spots with some of the gold ones. Let's see. Put that there. Do one of the big ones. Maybe down here. There we go. So there's that one. I love how this one turned out. So pretty for Christmas. Okay, let's move on to our last card. This one uses a lot of the Designer Series paper and more of the wild wheat. And see how I put some gold glimmer paper in here, and it really helps the wild wheat take on more of a gold tone, which I think I like it better that way. Do you like wild wheat? I don't know. I don't know if I have met a person yet that said, ooh, I love wild wheat the first time they saw it. Maybe that's you though, so tell us if it is. Tell us if you loved wild wheat right away. Okay, this one I have a thick basic white card base again, 5.5 by 8.5, and then I scored at 4 1/4, and I folded it in half. And then for my Designer Series paper, I just used 2 of the patterns out of the Modern Garden, or the Garden Walk Designer Series paper. This one measures 1 inch by 5.5. So we'll lay that one down first. Right at the top, or the side, however you look at it. This is a fun layout to do to really show off your Designer Series paper. And then this one, so this one you're going to have a little gap. I cut it 3 by 5.5, and the main reason I did that is because then you can get 2 pieces out of one 6 by 6 sheet. So if I did 3 1/4, I would only be able to get 1 piece out of the 6 by 6 sheet. So we're going to cover up that gap with some gold glimmer paper. I suppose you could make this top piece a little wider too. But I was trying to get the most out of my Designer Series paper. So that is the reason for those measurements. So don't line it up to this. You want to line it up on the other edge. And then we'll cover the gap here in a second. Okay. Now, this glimmer paper is super cool. It is one of the special release papers that they did last month. So you get one 12 by 12 sheet of gold and one 12 by 12 sheet of silver. And here's the best part. This measures 1/4 inch by 5.5. So again, you'd have to use your liquid glue, but you don't because this is adhesive backed. So whoever thought up putting adhesive on the back of glimmer paper is a genius. Because watch this. I just peeled off the backing. And actually, I think I cut this just over 1/4 inch just to make sure it would cover that gap. So it's pretty close to 1/4 inch. I just went just past the 1/4 inch mark when I cut it, so I would be sure that it covered that gap. But look how pretty that is. And so easy to lay down since it has adhesive on the back. I love it. Okay, next we're going to take our Calypso Coral ribbon. And I'm going to wrap it around and tie a bow. So we'll get a piece here that's long enough. Let's see here. And I'm just going to kind of line it up with the edge of that glimmer paper. If you like to use liquid glue with your ribbon, you could add a little to hold it in place. Again, we're going to be putting the sentiment label over the top of it, so that'll help hold it down too. You could put a glue dot under your bow. Sometimes I do that to help hold it in place. But I think putting the sentiment on top will hold it in place well enough for my liking. Okay, and let's make sure, yep, it's flat on the inside. Okay, so I have punched a wild wheat oval with the Modern Oval Punch. Let me bring my scrap paper back in. So this time we're going to use wild wheat ink. And we're going to use the tiny little flower stamp. And I'm just going to stamp one in each corner of my label. Well, not each corner. 2 opposite corners. And then there's a little leaves stamp, And this actually is designed to fit right in with those flowers. And I'm just doing monochromatic here. So I'm going to just stamp my leaves. Let's see. I don't know where it goes on this one. I think I'm going to cover this up with my sentiment, but maybe I'll put some more over there so we can actually see them. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in my Calypso Coral ink for my sentiment. So for this one, I have cut a piece of white that is 3/8 by 2 3/4. And we're going to stamp the sentiment in Calypso Coral. And this will be a little bit longer than the sentiment, so just kind of center it. There we go. And then we're going to cut the ends to an angle, so that's where you want to center it. You could also do banner, or you could just stamp it to one side and cut it off straight, whatever look you would like. So I cut mine in an angle. And then I'm going to use a little bit of glue to lay it down flat, because again, it's pretty narrow and probably too narrow for the Stampin' Seal. So go across the middle, like that. And then we're going to put this on the card with a few dimensionals. And again, I'm going to use 4 just so I can help hold that ribbon in place. So I kind of lined that up with my ribbon, like that. And then we're going to finish off with a few of the pink pearls. Oops, and I just added them to the centers of some of the flowers. I used some of the small ones. See if I can get my lid off of here. I need to put a refill on for my take your pick tool. Okay, so maybe you didn't even notice these the first time I showed the card, but I put a few of the pink pearls in the centers of the flowers. Let's see, let's do this one. So there we go. There's our third card. All right, let me bring those 3 cards back in, and then I have a few other samples with this suite to show you. So these are our 3 cards for today. Again, if you would like the PDF tutorial, you can place an order of any amount. If you spend more than $40, you'll get the card kit, and more than $50, I'll include a package of the Blooming Pearls also. Now, I forgot this week to print off my list of suggested items to purchase if you are wanting to make the cards exactly as is, but I would include maybe the Baker's Twine or the Calypso Coral ribbon, and then probably the ink colors we use today, which are Pretty Peacock, Garden Green, Cherry Cobbler, Wild Wheat, and Calypso Coral. If you are on my email list, I always email these videos to my email subscribers later in the day, and I am going to include a list for them of suggested products. So if you want to be reminded of my videos every week, please join my email list, and you'll also get notified about my classes and specials and everything. And sometimes that's a better way to stay informed than if you see it by chance on Facebook. So I'll put a link for that in the description too. I did get a couple of swap cards using this suite, so I thought I would share those. This is a fun one for a birthday card, and I think these are 1-inch strips of the DSP. I like this layout. I might use that. And then she used 2 of the modern oval punches and kind of layered the garden green behind. So this center of the flower is one of those circle stamps that's in the stamp set. So that's kind of neat. And then I think she did a little stamping on the inside too. Yep. I always forget to stamp the inside of my cards, but that's pretty. This one was from Kathy Miller. Okay, this one I really, really liked. This one is a pocket card, and this one uses, I think it's called Curved Occasions. So this is just using the paper from this suite, and then she used the punch too. And I really like how this punch fits right on this banner from the Nested Essentials dies. And then if you open it up, it has a pocket. So that's kind of fun. You could probably stick money or a gift card in there too. I forget who that one is from. I don't know if it had a tag or not, but it is really, really cute. I like the boho blue with that too. This is one I shared earlier this week. I kind of went with fall colors, Cajun Craze, Pumpkin Pie, and Early Espresso. And here I use the Blooming Pearls for the centers of my flowers. And this is where I did two-step stamping. So these are 2 stamps in the stamp set that layer together. So that was kind of fun. And you don't have to stick with the color scheme of the suite. You can go and do other colors too. And then the last cards I wanted to show you, I am using this suite for my card club this month. And I have 3 of the 4 cards designed. So this club is $39 a month too. And the deadline is the 20th. It works exactly the same as my Christmas card club. It's just more general occasion cards. So we do have 1 Christmas card this month because I wanted to use that Christmas sentiment. And this one you can see I kind of copied the layout of this card. I did not make mine a pocket card, but I thought that was a fun layout. So that is where my starting point was. And I used that fun adhesive back glimmer paper too. And I colored the Calypso Coral ribbon with my dark Real Red Stampin' Blends. So it kind of worked with the paper a little bit more. So that's 1 card. This is another card from my card club this month. And then this is the 3rd one, and there will be 1 more. I just haven't finished designing it yet. So again, the card club, you would get supplies to make 2 of each card. And then this month's kit will include a half package of the Garden Walk Designer Series paper, the roll of Calypso Coral ribbon, and the package of Blooming Pearls. And then the kits come packaged kind of like how the cards were in the envelopes today. And then you get the tutorial, and you can add on the bundle and the inks if you want at the catalog cost. And I pay the tax and shipping as a perk of belonging to the club. You can join or cancel anytime. It's not one of those clubs where you have to commit for 6 months or anything like that. But if you belong for 6 consecutive months, then I include a little gift package in your kit the 6th month. And usually it includes like a host stamp set or some fun paper, and it's valued at $25. So it's kind of a fun perk if you stick around longer. But you can join or cancel anytime. So again, I'll have links to all of those things in the description here in a little bit. If you have any questions about any of those things, please comment or message me, and I will be sure to help you. I hope you enjoyed the cards today, and I hope you are falling in love with this suite just like I did. Have a great day. Bye.